Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Gelly.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on this farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We have got a beautiful day on our hands, and thanks to this beautiful day, we've been able to fly through chores this morning. We've already got the farm market all set up. We've now got the animals all taken care of, and we're ready to move on to the next job. We added a little bit of extra work to morning chores this morning because we wanted to bed up the animals. Nothing was too sloppy, but it's still nice to give them a fresh place to lay down. Could you tell it was a little cool this morning? Did you see what I put on here?
I'm liking it.
Yeah. Alrighty, here we are out at the fields. Now, some of you may be curious, what is the first thing that we're gonna be picking today? And don't worry, I'm not gonna make you wonder for too long because look right here. Yeah, we need tomatoes. Well, it's obvious. Tomatoes have been growing. Let's see what we can find today. While we're sitting here picking, we were just making note to each other that we're amazed at how nice the tomatoes look, but not just the tomatoes, the plants. Usually by this time of the year, our plants will really start to take a turn for the worse, but for the past few years, that's been expected. For whatever reason this year, the plants continue to look nice and continue to produce new blossoms. We're raising determinate tomatoes, which basically means that they'll push all their crop at once, but it's nice to see that they're adding a little extra for us. If these plants can continue to stay healthy, then we're gonna continue to pick for a very long time. In past years, we've had nice tomato crops, but we haven't been able to stay on top of them like we have this year. I don't know why we're able to do it this year, for whatever reason. Maybe we got picking them sooner as opposed to other years. Another thing we've been doing, if you've been watching, you've noticed that we've been taking the lighter tomatoes and we've been letting them ripe at home. And there's a few reasons why we do that. One big reason is it allows the tomatoes to stay a lot nicer. The earlier you get them pulled off the plant, the less likely that there's gonna be any animal damage or weather damage related. One of the biggest things it allows us to do is sort the tomatoes also. When we get them all picked up, we take them home, we clean them up and sort them. And since we're sorting them into different baskets, we have different levels of ripeness. So if people are looking for tomatoes ready for canning, we've got it. But if they're looking for tomatoes for other reasons, we also have those as well. Now, for those that are curious, once a tomato starts to turn colors, it is technically a vine-ripened tomato. It's already producing enough of that hormone that allows the tomato to change color. Now, a lot of people will say tomatoes taste better if you let them stay on the vine until they're dark, dark red. There's been like research that shows that that's not 100% true, but I will tell you one thing. If you pick a nice dark red tomato off the vine, it's just gonna feel better eating it. Now, for us to continue having beautiful tomatoes that everybody wants to take home, we do it a little different now these days. And because we've changed up the way we've harvested, it's allowed us to have a more complete harvest with less waste, which helps us out in the long run, and it helps out a lot of people in the local area. Those are just a few things that I wanted to share about our tomato harvest. A lot of people have been asking many different questions, and I'd love to answer them all, but it's kind of difficult to do. One thing I will say is if these tomatoes continue to look nice like this, we're gonna have no trouble selling them. Now, I'm not sure what the reason is, but one thing I'd like to tell you guys is we have been crazy busy at the farm market. I mean, you see the amount of produce we've been picking, and it almost hasn't been enough. We have to pick every single day just to keep up with the amount of orders and the amount of customers that we have coming into the farm market. Now, I'm not complaining. It's nice to see that we've been moving produce, but it has been a lot of work. Not just for us out here in the fields, but also for the girls back at the farm market. Now, it is the time of the year for this stuff, so it's to be expected. But it almost seems like there's been more people canning this year, which I only see as a bonus. And I'm not saying I see it as a bonus because I sell all the stuff that people are canning. I mean, that is nice for us, but it's also nice to see so many new people trying it out. If you can have like homegrown local food all winter long around here, that is a big deal. And we've been seeing more and more people get involved with it. We've been selling a lot of sweet corn, a lot of beans, and a lot of tomatoes, because you know it's sauce and salsa time. This is when like picking tomatoes is my favorite job, when the tomatoes are this nice and it's not that difficult to fill baskets. I mean, I've moved my basket just a few times and it's just about full. This is the best part of raising vegetables and fruits, is when the harvest is really, really nice. Just makes you feel good. It makes all that work you put in, you know. We started all this stuff from seed, and then we had to transplant it out here, and then we had to keep it alive through all those dry months that we had. And all that work was for what? This moment right here. This is a good moment. That is why we take so much pride in what we raise. And that's why farmers value what they raise so much. All this work just to get these few tomatoes. A little update for you. We haven't been out here that long and we've already got baskets lined up along our row. We also have a good amount of baskets all ready to put onto our wagon, and every single one is beautiful. This job goes very, very quickly when you have a beautiful harvest like we do now. But could you imagine if more of these tomatoes were ripe at this moment? The amount of baskets we'd be pulling out of this field, that would be a little wild. When I was younger, we would have times where we were picking close to 100 baskets of tomatoes a day. Now you may be thinking, you know, providing for a farm market, that doesn't sound like a lot. But we were doing that 7 days a week. It was a lot of tomatoes. Thankfully, we were able to sell all of them. And if we were put in that position again, we could probably figure something out. But I tell you what, tomatoes were not that expensive that year. I mean, we picked a lot of tomatoes, but it was a good time. It was a lot of work. And yeah, everybody was probably sick of tomatoes by the end of that. But for this year, I think we're all still enjoying this, and I'm gonna get back to picking and I'll update you once we're close to being finished. We just got all our baskets filled up, so now we're gonna go through and load up our wagon. We brought just enough baskets to fill the entire wagon. We'd like to do that to make it a little easier on ourselves. We could have probably got about 10 to 15 more baskets out of these rows, which is always a good thing to keep in mind, because if we have more orders, we can fill them. While I'm here though, let's go for a stroll over to the pumpkins. Look at that big boy. Wow. There's that one's huge. There's one in there. Let's go down here. Let's see. We got even little ones coming yet. That's a big boy. This one's like really big too. Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful getting these out here. This one I think is rotting a little bit, but that's okay. These are gonna be really, really heavy. We might have to think of some neat ways to get these pumpkins out of here. Some of these pumpkins look like they're almost 200 pounds. So, I mean, like, maybe we could get it up, but it would be nice if we had a little bit of help. And there we have it, a beautiful full wagon of tomatoes. Now we're gonna take this stuff back to the farm. We're gonna get all these tomatoes ran through our washer, and we're gonna get them sorted out. Little change of plans, we have a few specialty pepper orders that we wanna get taken care of. First thing on the list is some habaneros, and while Daniel and I are working on this, Dad and Matthew are working on some other stuff. Now these peppers that we are harvesting are very, very hot, so there's a few things you need to keep in mind. One is do not touch your face and do not touch anything else that you don't want burning. So, you know, you gotta be very careful of your eyes, your mouth. This is something that I cannot stress enough. Now, a lot of people would recommend to harvest these with gloves on. Now, I think that'd be a good idea for most people, especially if you have sensitive skin, because you can feel the heat come through the pepper sometimes. And as you're picking, you may bust a pepper open or maybe two by accident. It will burn your hands. Now, I thankfully don't run into that problem much. If a pepper does open up, it doesn't seem to hurt my hands, so I'm very thankful there. But yeah, if you were to raise these at home, I'd recommend just using gloves. Better to be safe than sorry, and just continue on the safe side. But boy, they are some beautiful peppers. I love this orange. This is just such a beautiful orange. Now, if by chance you are working with these peppers and your hands are burning, and I make mention your hands, you can use rubbing alcohol to take the burn away, because the burn from these peppers ultimately comes from an oil, comes from capsaicin, so that works. Now, if you get it on your tongue or something else, I don't know what to tell you. Milk, they say, works really well, but this type of heat is very, very aggressive. So the milk, you'd have to drink a lot of milk. Maybe get some ice cream. Just put your tongue in the ice cream. That's probably the #1 thing to do. And there we go. Beautiful basket of habaneros. Look at the color combo. The beautiful red hot cherry peppers, beautiful habaneros. We've now got our peppers, we've got our red cherry, we've got our orange habaneros, and we've got a mixed basket of long hots. Now we are gonna be on our way back to the farm. We have all those tomatoes that we need to clean and sort, but before we can do that, we need to get some sweet corn picked because we have none. Daniel's working on getting the bins pulled off our truck. We need 2 bins, but one of the bins is just gonna have 400 ears of corn in it. That's for an order. And then the other bin, we're just gonna get it as full as we can because that's what we'll need for the farm market. So as always, with our first bin, we're gonna be counting every single ear that we pull. And once we hit 100 ears, we will shout out that we have 100, 200, or 300. And by working together, that's how we count all the ears that go into the bin. So I'm not gonna be talking, I'm gonna be focusing because sometimes numbers are hard. I have 100, 200, 300, 80, 90, 91. I've got 400. So now that we got the order, we throw on a few extra ears, and now it's ready to go. I've talked about how we count to fill up a bin in recent videos, but we've never really explained it or shown how it's done. Yeah, that's basically it. We all keep a count of our own number. Then when we throw it in, we add it up. Just got finished with picking the sweet corn. That last bin we just picked, we got as much sweet corn put into it as possible. That way we shouldn't have to come back out here today, hopefully. I mean, we stuffed a lot of corn in there. Alrighty everybody, it is now lunchtime. It looks like we've got chicken salad, tuna fish salad, and then we've got some fresh fruit. After we got finished off with lunch, we were going over a few things that we needed to do. And something that was very high on the priority was getting some beans harvested. Now I was working on some stuff, so I was a little late getting out here, but they already got the green beans picked and they've already got the Italian flat beans picked. All we need is yellow beans. We're all loaded up. Dad and Daniel each have a basket of beans, and they're eating them. How do they taste?
Good.
Mmm, delicious. Doesn't that look nice? Good amount of beans there too. Now what's really nice is we'll be able to sell these no problem, especially because customers have been asking for them like crazy. We got the beans all put into the cooler and the orders taken care of. So that brings us downstairs to where we can finally get these tomatoes washed. For right now, it's just gonna be Dad and myself. I'm not sure what Matthew is up to, but Daniel is getting a whole bunch of bins together for a project we have going on after this. So Dad and I are just gonna try and get all these tomatoes washed and sorted. Just got all the tomatoes sorted out. I'll show you what we got. On the wagon, we have 12 baskets of ripe tomatoes. Then right over here, we have 6 extra of ripe tomatoes. And then we also have other plum tomatoes down here that we can use. We also got 4, 8, 12, 13 and a half baskets of green to pink tomatoes. And these will continuously ripen up over time, and we'll be able to sell these through the week. Those pink to orange tomatoes, they're kind of like an investment because we pick them now and we can use them later on. And believe me, we use them. After we got finished with getting all those tomatoes taken care of, you might have wondered, what is our next job gonna be? Well, it's not much of a secret because I'm in the pumpkin field. We're gonna be picking pumpkins and grabbing some different types of gourds. We've already made a little bit of progress out through the field. A lot of different stuff in this little area. A lot of neat looking stuff, which is what people are looking for. You can see right here we have some smaller pumpkins, white pumpkins, we got some warty pumpkins, and just basically a whole mix mash of different stuff. White pumpkins is something we've really been interested in finding, and thankfully we've been finding them. These are nice and light, except for this one. Heavy boy. Yeah, that's about a pound pumpkin. Not to carry. Look at this fat boy. Oh boy, check it out. Look at this big guy. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love these pumpkins. These long ones like this, they get heavy though. Super heavy. Oh boy, check it out. This would be like pumpkin heaven for Callie. Look at all these little orange ones. When a family comes in and they have a whole bunch of little kids, boy, they will grab at a ton of these. So we enjoy having them, and every single kid that comes in the farm can get their own mini pumpkin. I mean, look at those. Aren't they cute? Woo-hoo-hoo. That's a big boy. Wow. Oh, heavy too. I hope you guys can sense the excitement that we have here, because this is a big deal for us. The boys have been all the way up top picking pumpkins and bringing them down. And look at what we've got going on over here. Look at this pile. Beautiful, but then over here, wow. That is wonderful. I think pumpkins is something we all look forward to. Like even you guys back at home. Well, I think you look forward to it. What?
Andrew, twins!
Twins? Wow, like I was saying, everybody looks forward to it. Even people that have twins, twin pumpkins. We just walked the entire length of the field, picking everything that we could. We've got a decent amount on the ground here. Now all we have to do is walk back to the wagon, drive out through and pick everything up. So that's the hard part. Picking them is the easy job. You just cut them and put them out by the road, but having to throw all the pumpkins up on the wagon, that's where you start to get tired. Especially when you deal with some big pumpkins like these. Oh my goodness, or like that one over there. All finished with harvesting pumpkins for the day. We got a lot of pumpkins, a lot of gourds, and it was a good time, but I'm tired. We basically went the whole length of the field picking up pumpkins, so the arms are a little sore from throwing them up there. But it's okay. It'll be better tomorrow, hopefully. We're now home. We got all the pumpkins put away. The only thing left to do now is close up the farm market and get some dinner. It is dinner time here on the farm. We have got the babies here with us. We've got Callie and Mommy. And Dad, what are you making here for dinner?
I'm making homemade French fries.
Homemade French fries. So those are some potatoes that we harvested. Dad's got them frying up right here, and how do they taste?
Wonderful.
Oh. And then outside on the grill, we got Mom out here. She's making burgers and hot dogs. What a wonderful person. So we're just about ready to sit down and eat. I'm ready because I am hungry.
Do you have a relish on the table?
All right, everybody, we're getting ready to sit down and eat, so you guys know what that means. This is where we're going to be ending the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.